I mean, if it was easy, we wouldn't be having the conversation, right? But it says all gates shall remain closed, and then board member Pearson pointed out that it's whenever students are on campus. So I mean, this is like a whole nother. Like if we think this is hard, it's about to get harder. And so just to put that out there, but I have a question specifically about the hard corners or safe spaces in classrooms. And to Mr. Poole, what is the responsibility or liability of Duval County Public Schools in regard to charter schools that may fall short of this? I mean, I know I have recently visited some charter schools that I'm like, I don't even see how you can have a hard corner. You know, like you start going in and thinking differently. So I'm thinking, you know, we have some responsibility to oversee their safety officer, or I mean, we've got some responsibilities. I'm just wondering if they fall short, what liability do we have?
Through the chair, and that may be a bring back. Candidly, let me take a look at that because I don't know off the top of my head, and I don't want to, guess. I recognize they're given a great deal of autonomy, but if I may, let me take a look at that, and if I can get back with you and be happy to let you know.
I'm just asking the question because if it applies to charter schools and the district has some kind of liability or accountability or some oversight and making sure, we need to communicate that as well. Because like I said, I have recently been in several charter schools that there was no hard corner or no space for a hard corner. I mean, I didn't see how they'd make that happen. So if I noticed it, it's needs to be done. So I just want to be sure that as a district we don't have any responsibility to ensure that. And then how do we communicate and make sure how much of this applies to a charter school, that we communicate that to charter school principals as well, particularly if we have any liability involved.
So I know in conversations I've had in the past with the Office of Safe Schools in Tallahassee, I don't think that it was implied to me that the Office of Safe Schools was going to be taking charge to make sure that all charters were falling in compliance. Now, however, it might be in our best interest to make sure that we're keeping our charter partners abreast of what we're doing and what and statutes they might not know. But this is just from past conversations I've had with that department, that we necessarily are not liable, but it would probably be in our best interest to make sure that we're all on the same page.
We might not be, but could we be? Is my question, because sometimes those lines get really
And I
big.
think that's a question, Mr. Poole, for the Office
And I'll-
of, the Office of Safe Schools.
And again, I'll take a look at that.
I think we have some commentary also.
Yeah, through the chair to the board, just real quick on that, we do talk to the charter schools once a month, and so they are aware of all these new statutory requirements, things that they're required. They follow the same things we do here in our traditional schools. So everything applies, hard corners, safer spaces. And to get back to your hard corners, some rooms don't have corners because your exterior door is on the outside and you just have glass, so your safest place is underneath the glass. So that's what we have to mark in some of these classrooms. If they're using closets, bathrooms, walls, that's the positions we have to mark if that's not a hard corner. So, but we do work with our charter schools all the time, so.
Questions?
Through the chair, because I hear issues with communications routinely with our charter partners. I hear. So when you say we communicate with them, how do you do that?
There's a meeting once a month that Mr. Hayes starts up.
I got you. Say no more. Yeah. You use that venue.
I'm sorry?
That's the venue you use.
Yes.
This is a new policy, and I guess my question is, through the chair, probably to Mr. Wright. In E, it talks about persons who are aware of a violation of this policy must report the violation to the school principal. If it's the school principal that is violated, the report must be made directly to the superintendent. How
are we going to make sure that school staff is aware of this? Because as a employee in a school building, the board could have changed policy